Hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. This is Stan here with you. Well, I just bought a new car and I thought of introducing it to you guys. Well, it's not a new car, it's a very old car, but it's the cheapest running car in Adelaide. So let me show it to you guys. So this is that beauty. It's a 1993 model Mazda 323 4-speed automatic car, and it's a BG series car. I think it's the 4th gen Mazda 323 model. It's a lovely car. Well, I got it for really cheap, and there's a reason for its cheapness, which I'll get to in a while. So you can see a lot of imperfections in the body. There's overspray here. There's a lot of paint peel and rust. You can see here the paint peel here, and the wheels look a bit ugly in the black in color. You can see a lot of rust here. There's some kind of dent over here, and there's some kind of stain on the paint. Rust here, a lot of paint peel here, paint peel. The plastic is broken here, a lot of paint peel and rust. So definitely the exterior of the body is not perfect. So when I got the car from the seller, the car was actually not even washed properly on the exterior. It was very bad. I'll show the condition of the car right now. You can see it. So this is how the car looked like when it was purchased. The car was so cheap, I guess, and that is why the seller did not bother to wash the car. So coming to the price, I actually paid just $1,500 for this entire car, and mechanically the car is actually pretty good. It's not bad, and that's why I paid that much. Let me show you guys the interiors. The interior is actually very good compared to the exterior. The interior is very good. There's some tear on the steering wheel over here, and the dashboard is cracked on many places. Apart from that, the seats are good. It just needs proper clean. I'll get some proper shampoo and clean the seats later. But apart from that, the interiors are very good on this car. Even there's no roofline sagging. You can see the roofline is perfect. And even mechanically, the car is excellent. However, there is one issue while starting the car. There's a loud screeching noise. It actually happens very rarely. Maybe now it might not happen. Let me try starting it. Ah, there it is. So that is a screeching noise. I think it is because the pinion gear is not engaging with the flywheel, or maybe some teeth in the flywheel is broken, and that's why you get that noise. But if you turn the ignition off and turn it on after a while, the car does start with no issues. Oops. It will start. There it is. The car started with no issues. Car was revving a bit high, so once you accelerate, the rev becomes normal. It doesn't rev up. So just tap the accelerator, and the rev becomes normal. Now some of you guys might think that I overpaid for this 30-year-old car, and I'll tell you the reasons why it's not high. It's a really good price because this car has done just 161,000 kilometers, and it is a single owner car. I even have the original manual with full service history for this car. So keeping that in mind, this price is actually pretty good. So apart from the starter issue, the aircon does not work. The heater works perfectly fine, but the aircon does not work. The fan works. The AC cooling is not there. So I might need to fix that. And if it gets fixed with just regassing, it will work out cheaper for me. But if it doesn't fix the AC issue with the regassing, I might have some leak or some compressor issue, and that might be expensive. So that's a problem. The radio does not work, and there are some holes in the muffler, so the muffler needs to be replaced. So that might cost around $200. The tires are good. Tires are all 13 inches. And the tires do have some life in them. I think I can drive with these tires for another 25 to 40,000 kilometers. So tires are good. Now let's see the engine. So this is the engine bay. This is a carburetor engine. You can know that by seeing this air filter fan on top. So all carburetor engines will have this air filter. If it's a fuel injected car, you will not have this. Now this is a 1.6 liter engine. It makes around 88 bhp and 123 Newton meter of torque, and it has a 4-speed automatic gearbox. Battery is fine. You can see some rust here and there, but there's nothing to worry about. It's all right. Yeah, on this VIN label, you can see proudly written "Made in Japan." It is definitely a reliable Japanese car. I know about this car because my dad had the same 323 model, but it was in a higher spec 1.8 liter engine, 4-speed automatic car with a lot more features than this. This is the base model, so it doesn't have a lot of features that my dad's car had. Engine wise, this is a bulletproof engine, and the problem that I've seen in this engine after purchasing it is that there is few engine oil leak here just around the engine. So I think it's a gasket leak issue, which I will fix shortly. I might do it myself, or I might take it to a good mechanic to fix this gasket leak, but it's nothing major. The oil level hasn't dropped. The oil level is perfect. Here's the oil level dipstick. When I check the dipstick, the oil level is good, so there's nothing to worry about regarding the engine oil leak. Let me show you guys the boot space as well. The boot is pretty spacious. You also have a 60-40 back seat split. You can fold it down and load in more things. So this car is very practical. So a really good feature that I like in this car is this roll up and roll down windows. In 2023, I really don't remember the last car that I used which had this feature. I've never used a car with this roll up and roll down windows. I think, yeah, the Maruti 800 that I had in India had this feature. So after that, this is the only car that I've driven with this roll up and roll down features. So this is pretty cool. So this is a base model, and that's why you get only the manual rolling of windows. The one that my dad had, he actually had the power switch for the windows. So that was the full option car. Also, the mirrors on this car are controlled manually. In the top variants, it's actually automatic, and the controls for the mirrors are actually over here. That's why this place is empty. My dad had the controls over here, so I remember it. It is either on one of these places. So let me press the horn. So that's the horn. Pretty cute. And another cool feature that I liked in this car was this digital clock. Let me turn it on for you. So I really like this digital clock. Really brings back good old memories. So all the cars from the 80s and 90s usually had this. I think Toyotas and Mazdas had this little clock. It's very nice. I really love it. I also like this cabin light over here. It's very retro, and it also works very well even now. And everything else is standard. You have the AC controls here. Obviously the AC does not work, only the heater works. I need to get that fixed. And an interesting switch over here is the echo switch. Now this is not an echo button to dull the performance of the car, but this is an echo button to actually save some fuel while using the air conditioner. So this works in conjunction with the air condition switch. And a very cool feature in this car is this electrostatic thing over here. That is, when you get into this car and get out with some certain clothes, you actually get a shock when you touch the body of the vehicle when you get out. So this thing over here actually prevents that. When you get out of the car, just make sure that you touch this thing over here so you don't get that electrostatic shock. So this is a very cool feature which my Camry actually misses. I actually get a lot of electrostatic shock with my Camry because of the lack of this thing over here. And another cool feature in this 30-year-old car is this switch over here. You can actually adjust the height of your seatbelt by pulling this and moving it up and down. So that's a pretty neat feature which you have in this car. Now the locks on this car are all manual, so you'll have to open and close it individually by just pulling up and down on this lock. So it's all manual. So that's a bummer. And this is the hazard switch. The very cool feature on this car is that you get this green light like you get in the older Toyota cars from the 90s, like the Toyota Cressidas, which had this beautiful light. Without this light, it's actually a bit difficult to insert your key. So this is a very cool feature that I like in this car. Okay, so we're going to start the car right now. Oops. It's all right. I believe in this engine. I believe in this car. It will start eventually. There you go. Good old carburetor engine. it will start faithfully. It will never break down on you. I know this car. It's a very good car. Okay, so now let's engage reverse. Okay, let's go back for a short spin. Engage it in D and we're moving. All right. So let me tell you what is the main reason for purchasing this car right now. Well, I just wanted a cheap project car which I wanted to fix up and then flip the car. So the main idea of this car project is just to flip it. And that's the only reason why I purchased it. And with a Mazda car like this, one thing you can guarantee for sure is its reliability. It's a very super reliable car, just like the Toyotas and Hondas from that era, that is the 1990s. So as soon as I went for the test drive of this car, I literally got sold on the spot. I just finished the deal within 15 minutes after the test drive. I paid the amount. So the seller had quoted $1,800 for this. There wasn't any other car cheaper than this when I was looking for cars for the last 2 weeks. So the way I negotiated was that the AC wasn't working, the muffler was short, and I didn't know about the engine leak that time, or else I could have negotiated the price a bit further down. I did not want to give a ridiculously low offer price as well, or else I wouldn't be able to purchase this car. And so I just made an offer of $1,500, which the seller immediately agreed to accept. Whenever you go out to purchase a car, guys, don't look at the exterior appearance. Just look at the mechanical condition of the car, because exterior wise you can easily fix the car much cheaper. But if there's a mechanical issue which you guys fail to find out, and then that will be a very expensive affair. And this is one such car, because mechanically I really love this car. It's really perfect. While driving, there's no issue with this car except the starter motor, which does show up its shortcomings once in a while, but that is easily fixable, so you don't have to worry about that. Apart from that, the suspension is good, the tires are good, the battery is good, and the engine is good. So that is the reason why I blindly went for this car. Coming to the project of this car, there are some things I need to fix. One is the air condition, because summer is just around the corner and I definitely do need... Wait. Yeah, and the wipers also do work perfectly fine. Yeah, so summer is coming up and I do need to fix the air condition. The starter motor also needs to be fixed. Maybe it's a pinion gear or it's a flywheel, I'm not sure. So only after I inspect it, I'll be able to figure out what I need to fix regarding the starting issue. But it's nothing serious. And also the engine oil leak, which is around the engine gasket area, I think that's just a gasket issue. If I replace the gasket, I think that should fix the engine oil leak. So and also the muffler issue. The muffler also has some leak because of holes, so I need to replace the muffler as well. And apart from these, mechanically this car is actually perfect. There's no other issue with this car. And yeah, so that's the project that I intend to fix and then flip it eventually. But clearly something funny is that I might get sentimental with this car, because my dad actually owned this exact same Mazda 323 car. I think it was a 1994 or 95 model, I don't remember exactly. It was a green in color car, automatic, with it was the top spec variant of the 323 model car. So maybe if I really love this car after fixing it, I might not sell it, I might just keep it with me, because I really love this car. I used to love, because I have really good memories with the Mazda 323 during my childhood, because my dad used to take me to and back from school. He used to take us everywhere in that car. I really had very good memories with that car. Considering that, I might not flip this car, I'm not really very sure about that. But right now, this is a project car which I intend to fix. So in the next few months, I'll be starting to fix this car. Also, I'll be fixing all the exterior blemishes on this car, especially the paint peel and the rust. I have done a video on fixing the rust issue on my Verna. So those of you who haven't seen that video can watch it right in the link above here. Yeah guys, so it's going to be a very interesting project, and I hope you guys also enjoy my journey with this car. Also during the night time, the car gives you a very good 90s and 80s retro feel. I'll try to put a small clip of that over here so you guys can see it. So this is my review of the 1993 Mazda 323. It's the cheapest car in Adelaide. I don't think there's any other cheap running cars right now in Adelaide, considering the market price of the cars here. I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, please do hit the thumbs up button. Also, do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done already. And until next time, this is Stan signing out. Bye bye.